Hey guys, so as you can see there's been a few changes to this video from last time. Last time there was like this blue backdrop and we had to play around with some lighting, stuff like that to try and get a good clear picture. And this time I'm doing more of a natural setting and just see how that goes. I liked the lighting of the last one. So we might end up going back to that, or maybe I'll try different backgrounds. I was thinking about getting like a big whiteboard and just drawing some things on it or something, You guys let me know what you think. So anyway, today I wanted to come and talk a little bit more about the 5K run that we're hosting. So it is a virtual 5K. It is for the purpose of raising funds and awareness to our cause. So we're hoping to raise enough money very, very soon to be able to get our physical location for our programming. And so our 5K is the first like major fundraising event that we have going on right now. And so really just hoping to raise some funds and awareness with that. Now, that being said, COVID, right? There's a lot of organizations that canceled their 5Ks this year. And for us, being a brand new organization, I knew that this was going to be a challenge for us because, established organizations that have a large follow base, they've canceled their events. And so that really made us wonder how effectively were we really going to be able to have a 5K, being that we're just so new. So instead of trying to organize like a big virtual 5K event, we decided to kind of make it small. So really, for the most part, it's just me running it. And the catch to that is the fact that obviously, I'm the board chair of Glide. And so, a lot of fundraising events, people like to, put board chairs or CEOs through the ringer, so to speak. But in this event, I'm kind of offering myself up as tribute. So I'm going to be running that 5K. I've never run a 5K before in my entire life. I have walked a 5K for Alzheimer's years ago, but I've never ran 5K until a couple months ago. It had been 14 years since I even ran a mile. Once upon a time, I was able to run a total of 4 miles in a day, but it was 2 miles at a time. So I would run 2 miles and then I would do my strength training exercises and then I would run another 2 miles. But never ever before have I run a full 3 miles or 3.1 miles in one setting. So I've been training for that, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about that today, largely because I have never run a 5K. And so part of me is hoping that as viewers, you may be interested in offering me some advice on how to properly train for a 5K. So what I have been doing basically over the last year. Yeah, I'm going to say year. I've been following the Couch to 5K program. Now, some of you might know what that means. And you're like, holy crap, you've been following that program for an entire year. It's only supposed to take 8 weeks. Yeah, well, when you start off never running, doing that in 8 weeks, it's a big goal. I'm not going to say it's not doable. I'm certain that it probably is doable, but it's something that I just took more time with, largely because I was getting back into the exercise arena, I guess you could say. So I didn't want to start off crazy. Not to mention, like when I first started, the Couch to 5K program, it starts off, you warm up for 5 minutes, and then you run, I want to say for 60 seconds, and then you walk for 90 seconds, and then you run for 60 seconds, and you do that throughout that first exercise. And then it increases the amount of time that you're running slowly through the program. but not that slow because I mean, it's 8 weeks, so not that slow. So what I found is the first time that I ran that, I had a really hard time running for 60 seconds. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like a lot of time, but I was very, very overweight, very, very out of shape. Running for 60 seconds, I was out of breath, and it was difficult. So I chose to, instead of going through the 8 weeks, just boom, 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 I chose to kind of let my body lead me in that. So I did that first week. I probably did it for 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks. And then I would go up to like the next week. So I do day 1, day 2, day 3. And then, like a month later, I'm doing day 4. So I've definitely built up slowly over time. Now, last November, I actually came down pretty sick, and that took me out of the game for a couple of months. And then when I finally got back out to run, I ran and I was still coughing things up from my lungs. That's how sick I was. When COVID came out, I was convinced that I somehow got it before it cycled through the United States, let alone the world. But I was convinced that that's what I had because I had it for a good solid 2-3 months. But I recovered from that, finally got back out there running again, and I started all over. I went right back to day 1, which probably sounds crazy, but that's what I did. And so then as I began to increase my time, I started to have physical symptoms because, again, I was very overweight. I'm still overweight, but I was much more overweight when I started. Maybe this is where we can squeeze in a before picture so you guys can see just the difference. So I was very, very overweight, very, very out of shape, and just had some issues. So I started having problems in my hip, pain in my hip. As I started, I was having pain in my leg. I've got a little bit of a history of trauma, and especially in my right leg. I was previously in a relationship where my ex-husband kicked me repeatedly in my shin with his steel-toed boots, and that created some scar tissue. And then a couple years ago, I fell down my stairs, really sprained my ankle, and really injured that whole part of my calf, not my calf, my shin yet again. So so just some trauma there with some scar tissue built up, and so that started causing me some problems. I was having like this almost electrical shocks down my shin. And I went to physical therapy about my hip and about my shin and about my ankle and my foot and all of this stuff. And he was working with me on that. And so a lot of those symptoms have improved. I haven't had the tingling down my shin in a while. And so a little bit of medical for you. Basically what that's about is when you have scar tissue that builds up underneath the surface of your skin, then it really inhibits the mobility of your skin in that area. And you have nerves and nerve endings that run through the surface of your skin. So when that mobility is affected because of the adhesions and the scar tissue, then you can have a reaction from your nerves. So that is basically what was happening. And so we utilized some techniques like taping. I'm sure some of you avid 5Kers are really familiar with taping, but we kind of taped the surface of the skin in an opposite direction than what it would naturally kind of pull down, as a result of just gravity. So we taped it up, and that was just a different sensation for the nerve endings there at the surface. And that really helped, actually, to kind of trick my brain, I guess, into just feeling something else there. And then as I became more mobile in that, the tingling went away. So that has been a big part of my training, has been physical therapy, because without that, I'm just not sure I would have been able to get as far as I've gotten. So I've worked up now from running 60-second intervals to, at this point, I'm running 2 miles, and then I'll walk for a half a mile, and then I run a half a mile. Then I finish out the end of that, the 0.1, with a cool down walk. So that's where I'm at right now. By November 1st, on November 1st, I will run my very, very, very first 5K. So dietary wise, I've noticed that that is really important when training for a 5K. When I've had a lot of garbage in my diet, the next day that I run, it's a lot more complicated. Like, my muscles get fatigued more quickly. And you guys can let me know if that's a thing. I feel like that's a thing. Just because I've noticed it. When I'm bloated and I'm not feeling well and I'm tired, obviously my run isn't going to be as good. So I'm really beginning to pay attention to what I'm eating, and hydration. For those of you that have watched my Facebook posts, you'll know that I know that hydration is really, really important. So when I started this journey, I was still drinking coffee. I was still drinking pop on occasion, and I wasn't getting a whole lot of water. To tell you the truth, like, I might have gotten 3 to 4 cups of coffee a day, and I didn't really drink any water. So now I'm drinking about 96 ounces of water a day, which honestly equates to about 3 of these. Yeah, 3 of these. So I drink 3 to 4 of these a day. Actually, this is 32 ounces. And that, again, I have just noticed that makes a huge difference in my run. So if I'm dehydrated, so if I went to work and I just didn't pay attention to my water intake as much as I should have, again, I noticed that my muscles get fatigued a lot more easily. So I really am paying attention to my hydration. Also, I find when I'm well hydrated, I'm not as thirsty on my runs. So, and I'm not carrying a water bottle with me. So that's some of the things that I'm doing as I train. Rest is obviously really important, making sure that I'm getting adequate rest. And so basically, I get up, I say basically a lot, I just noticed that. So I'm running on all of my days off from work. When I work 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. So those days are kind of like out. So I don't really run on those days, but I've been thinking recently that maybe I should make a point to do that either before or after work, probably after. But that's something to think about. So about 3 days a week, I don't run. The rest of the days, I am doing my running, except for on Saturday. I try to do like a hike with the family instead of a run. So I'm doing that. So I get up in the morning, about 7 o'clock in the morning is when my alarm goes off, and I have breakfast, and my breakfast consists of protein, and it depends on the day, honestly, protein and grain. So I have my gluten-free toast and some turkey bacon and an egg. Sometimes I do a hard-boiled egg. Sometimes I just do a fried egg. But yeah, an egg, turkey bacon, and my gluten-free toast. And then some days I have oatmeal, and I try to get more protein in. So on the days that I have oatmeal, there's not a lot of protein in oatmeal. So I will, after my run, have like a protein shake or something like that to get that protein in. So that's kind of what I'm doing as far as breakfast is concerned. And then I go on my run. I do a 5-minute warm up, and that basically just consists of any movement that's going to increase my heart rate for about 5 minutes. And so I do that, and then I do my run. And again, I run 2 miles, and then I walk for a half a mile, and then I run for a half a mile, and then I do the cool down 0.1. And then once I get home, I stretch. And I've noticed that that's really important, because if I don't stretch, then my muscles are a lot more sore the following day. So I am stretching. That's basically all I'm doing right now for training. And I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Because, like I said, I have never ran a 5K before. And maybe I'm taking this way more seriously than I should. I don't know, but I'm really motivated, honestly, because of the goals of Glide. You know, I've wanted to run a 5K for a while now. And when we really started to launch Guiding Life to Independence through Development and Education, it became more of a burden on my heart because I decided I wanted my very first 5K to be for Glide. And so that's what I'm doing. So I'm super, super motivated. And I hope that some of you will choose to join me in your own neighborhoods or cheer me on via social media. Anything that you post, you can post it with hashtag Glide4Change. And I will see it. And I really look forward to hearing your comments on how I can better train for this, especially the day of. So like leading up to the rest of this month, I'm thinking of staying away from all processed foods. I really have reduced those a lot anyway, but now I'm thinking of just completely eliminating processed foods. So doing that, especially leading up to the run, and of course hydrating a lot the day before, and before I go on my run and getting in my protein and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, I think what I'm doing is I don't have any plans to change anything unless you guys get on and you can say, hey, I've run 5Ks and this is what I do for my training, and then I'll definitely be taking your advice because I really have no idea. So I look forward to seeing your comments, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell so that you can get notifications of when we post new content, and let us know if there's something else you'd like to hear about. Right now, you're going to be hearing an awful lot about this 5K because that's the fundraising event that we are doing to try and get that physical location. So if you want to learn more about us, our mission, please go to our website, www.glidehome.org. And thanks for watching.